Nick Baldwin for BloodyElbow.com here with a LFA bantamweight fighter who takes on Ralph Acosta this Friday night at LFA 68 here in Prior Lake, Minnesota. It is Raufeon Stots. Raufeon, appreciate the time as always. This is a fight that you haven't had a lot of time to prepare for. This one opponent, you were initially supposed to fight a guy, I believe, by the name of Ivac. Probably butchering
Gustavo,
that. But
yeah, Gustavo Arak is who I
Okay,
was originally
okay.
supposed to fight. Yeah.
So you're supposed to fight him, and then you've had a couple other opponent changes, I believe. Has that been difficult, just not really knowing who you've been or who you will end up be fighting?
At
and
this
here you
point,
are?
I'm just grateful for the LFA and the staff at LFA for finding somebody willing to fight. Yeah, I had a couple of opponents, but at the end of the day, it's about me going out there and having fun, me going out there and performing my best and becoming my best fighter. So it doesn't really matter like who I step in against, because everybody's going to be adjusting to what I do. So I just got to do what I do well.
Okay. How is everything going? How was your camp? It's such a boring question, but how
Yeah.
was your training camp? How has this past few days been? The weight cut, everything leading up to this fight. How's it all? How did it all go?
Everything leading up to this fight has probably been the toughest camp of my life. Just from having Clarence, or my son, and also going through. I had a little injury that I was working through. I did a jiu-jitsu tournament that I semi got injured for or from. And also just what you call it, juggling training and being a father. I don't want to say caught up to me, but I had to make some different adjustments in this camp. And the opponent changes and fighting and not fighting, just kind of played a mental toll. But at the end of the day, I'm super excited to fight for LFA 68, and I'm excited to be here.
When you mentioned juggling being a father and fighting, is that just a matter of picking times you can train and
Exactly. Picking times I can train, as well as my wife. Picking times around her schedule, where she works. She's a school teacher, So and the times that everybody is training, or I can get coaches to help me do pads and and then also finding time to make money on the side. It's just been a little difficult. But
what are you doing on the side to make a bit of
so
money?
I do wrestling privates. I do wrestling classes. I also do a moving company. I work on a moving company, but during the winter months, it slows down. So, just stuff like that, kind of in making ends meet.
We spoke in December in Milwaukee, where you train out of at Raufeon Stots, just before the UFC card there, and you haven't fought since then.
Yeah.
Has that been a little frustrating? I imagine
Exactly.
that's 6 months ago or 5 months ago.
It's not only frustrating for me mentally, it's frustrating for me financially. It hurts my pockets, when I can't get in there. But yeah, man, I'm a fighter that I like to fight often. I don't necessarily take a lot of damage in my fights, so I want to rattle them off as much as I can, And LFA has been, the place to do that. But along with, helping out coaching and our Raufeon Sport team being so busy, being a small team, we got a really busy schedule, a really busy UFC schedule, as well as the regional scene. So, an opportunity came to me to fight for the LFA belt, but I had no coaches available, and against my better judgment, my coaches and my management decided to just wait it out, just kind of not fight that fight, and I'm ultimately I'm gonna side with my coaches and my management, because I'm a fighter. I just want to fight. Sure. But yeah, so it's been a little tough.
After this fight, if the UFC or Contender Series doesn't come calling, is the plan to fight for the LFA title, assuming you get it done on
Exactly.
Friday?
Wherever, if I can, if I don't get a UFC call, or if I don't get a Contender call, I just want to fight again. So, it only seems right that I fight for the title now. I don't really have much else places to go, So yeah, and that'll be an awesome opportunity too.
Ralph Acosta, what do you make of him as an opponent? He has more experience than you, I think, quite a bit. He's a bit of a veteran, you could say. You're sort of the up-and-coming prospect. So it's an interesting matchup in that regard. What do you make of him?
I believe he's a well-trained fighter. He's got a crazy amount of experience. He has, I want to say, 3 times the amount of fights I've had. He's got 2 times the amount of wins I have. He's also a wrestler. He wrestled and he All-American, at the D2 level. As you know, I'm a D2 national champion. He's a D2 All-American. So, and he All-American twice. So he's he's good, and he's game. So I just got to be ready to stop what he does well, and I believe what he does well is take the back and get people's down or get guys down. So I got to stay away from that, and I get to show some different parts of my game.
If you get it done on Friday, what you deserve and what you get are two different things, but what do you feel should come next? Do you deserve, with a win, to be in the UFC?
I don't want to say I deserve it because it's ultimately their decision, but, I got a hit list of people that I want to fight in the UFC, and if I'm destroying people at the regional scene, people don't want to fight me at the regional scene, I got a list of people that I got to take out in the UFC just to prove to myself and prove to the people that have doubted me in the past that I belong there.
Is Merab Dvalishvili one of those people on that hit list?
Merab Dvalishvili is like he's a late level boss. 'Cause I don't want to go chasing him because he has nothing to gain from a fight, but he's definitely on that list. He's an awesome guy. Me personally, I would love to fight him again. That would he's definitely on the list, but I got some other people to take out before that.
Is it important to your career, sort of on a long-term basis, to avenge that loss? Does that, 5 years down the road, is that still going to be there, or do you just forget about it?
It kind of depends on how he does. Like right now, I feel like he's doing really well in the UFC. So if it's as for him, it's got to be mutually beneficial. I got to create a name, that people want to see me, avenge a loss, and he's also got to keep winning. So it depends on if we both keep winning, then it's definitely something that I want to do. I want to avenge that loss, and I've already avenged one loss on my record. It would be so gratifying to avenge that one.
Well, it's LFA 68 Friday night here in Prior Lake. You're taking on Ralph Acosta. How do you get it done?
I'm gonna knock him out. I'm for sure gonna knock him out.
First round, second?
I'm gonna give him a first round knockout. I'm knocking him out in the first.
I pressured it. I feel like I pressured you into picking the first round.
Yeah, I was thinking second, but you know what? I got to go out there and get it done.
Fair enough. Raufeon, thank you so much for the time, and best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.